Hello, my name is Jasmine Lee, and I am not your mama's astrologer. Welcome to the week. Happy Monday. You know, this is a crunchy week. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to be flirty with you. I'm just going to be like, bruh. It's a crunchy week, and I think that it is that way because we are like, not this again, like this proverbial something that you have been dealing with. There is something that you have been dealing with for a while now that keeps bubbling itself up to the surface. And why do these things do this to us? It's not just to hurt us, I promise you. It's to grow us. It's to remind us that no matter how much growth we do, no matter how good we're doing, no matter what, good, bad, ugly, that we can't escape ourselves and we can't escape the next step in our lives. Even those of us who are so stubborn and so rooted to who we are, every now and again, that rooster crows and we must abide. And so even if the week feels crunchy, we have tools. We've got tools. I've got tools for you guys. There's methodology. Virgo loves that. Methodology we can apply to make this week, if not be less crunchy, us be more well-resourced for the crunch. We're strapping on our boots to be able to create the crunch ourselves. Haha. So we start the week, Monday, today. Venus in Leo is sextiling, cute little aspect, Mars. And this is like giving Mars a little cookie, okay? Because Mars has been in Libra. Mars doesn't like this energy, okay? Because it's its opposition. It's confused. It can't make a decision. Can you imagine a warrior on a battlefield not being able to make a decision? Knife or gun? Rah! I'll just die. So that's kind of like how Mars has been feeling. He feels a little emasculated, guys. So here comes Venus to take him by the hand and say, it's not that serious. It's fine. It's Venus taking Mars by the hand and saying, it's all about the love, baby. It's all about the connection. And so then Venus shows Mars the connection. It is the hand, the wet washcloth across the hot brow feeling. And so it's a great week to practice reconnecting. Whatever that is, maybe your relationship's been a little salty. Maybe things have been not as flowy with your kids, with your coworkers, with your friends, with your partners, with your family, fill in the blank. Maybe that part's been a little crunchy. I know it's all up in my astrology, so I have been like an unrelatable donkey over here, just stewing in my own stupid juices. And I'm looking forward to this Mars and Venus holding hands and saying, no matter what, if you can approach it with connectivity and love, then it's probably going to be okay. So that's Monday. Wednesday, it's a reality check. Hate to break it to us. Here comes the crunch. Are you feeling it? Mercury is opposing Saturn. We get a no. No. You want to do that? No. That sounded so shrill, but that's like how Wednesday's going to feel. It's like whatever plans you've been making, whatever you're trying to do, there's a vibe around no, a mental block, so to speak. When Mercury, our thoughts oppose Saturn, our life lessons, it means there's a barrier. There's a barrier between connected flow. There's a barrier between what we're thinking about and what we're able to do or procure. So I want you to understand that if the right turn isn't possible, it will always be okay to make a U-turn later. This is those kinds of astrology moments. I always think of the word timing. That a lot of people ask for readings and want to know when love is going to be there. And as an astrologer, I can't tell you when, you're going to meet your soulmate. I can get close, but I can tell you when are the best times to be open for that kind of energy. And then the rest is up to you, all right? Because if you're coming in swinging, if you're coming in with your baggage, if you're coming in with your bullshit, then there's no relationship astrology could throw at you that's going to make that go away. It's like you are responsible for unpacking your baggage, good people of the world. It is not up to anybody else to heal you. It is not up to anybody else to yes you. The no is so important because we understand then how important our yeses become and how to create our own yeses. So while this is not great, we have to respect what we commit to. We have to respect where it is, not what we want it to be. Saturn will never let us get too far gone with our dreamy dreams if we're not putting the action on the ground. And if you're getting some no's, that doesn't mean don't do the thing. That doesn't mean stop what you're doing. That just means reflect. That just means take a pause. That just means innovation will come if you just sit with it. And then Thursday, Mercury moves into Libra. So Mercury is all up in our business, being in Virgo, getting shit done, cleaning out the joint. Maybe we were a little critiquey of ourselves and others. Mercury being in Virgo can do that. Maybe we're just critiquing the whole life process or had been. But now that Mercury is moving into Libra, it's almost like a pressure release valve of, again, more connectivity. Again, how can I start thinking of solutions that involve love, compromise, compassion, beauty, love, that kind of stuff? When our mind can more easily grasp and attune towards that, towards Venusian vibes, towards comfort and love, then we're more able to rest. And that is the big lesson of this week. The thing about Virgo season, the thing about this week is that there is a solar eclipse coming at the end of the week in Virgo. And what we do this week will highly contribute to how we then experience the solar eclipse on Sunday. So Virgo rules our daily life and rituals. Virgo rules our habits. Virgo rules our bodily health, our digestion. So you would be doing bitch a favor. By bitch, I mean your body, your soul. A favor by eating well, by going to bed on time, by saying no to the thing that sounds fun but will ultimately drain the energy. Because if you don't have energy by the weekend, if you haven't taken good care, then it's almost like coming to the boss in Mega Man with like only 2 little whatever pellets of power. You know, the boss is probably going to kick your ass because you didn't set yourself up for success, because you like dive bombed through the level to get to the end. And the truth is like we do that in life too. We just want to flip to the end. We want to get to the reward, the cookie, the thing, but we don't come prepared. And so if we come unprepared for the thing we really want, then the thing we really want is going to warp and mutate and become something different to fit how we're meeting it. Remember that we're meeting opportunity, we're meeting partners, we're meeting the world the way that we meet ourselves. And don't forget that, because if you ask me what the number one life value to have, I'm always going to say this, always, and that is accountability. Accountability for no matter what the most victim-y part of your life is, if you can take accountability for that part of your life, you're doing half the work. You're showing up for yourself, in yourself, and by yourself. And that's really what Virgo eclipse season is about. We're letting go of the perfectionism, okay? Because Virgo also strives to be perfect. And when we have a solar eclipse conjunct near the south node is what we're letting go of. The north node, the lunar eclipse we just had a couple weeks ago, is right next to the north node, which is the energy we're wanting to build up. So we're wanting to build up our psyche strength, our intuitive knowing, our rest sector. We're wanting to fill up with trust, with faith, with benediction that we can do it. And we need to let go of how we're going to do it, because Virgo really wants to know how. We're like, I'm sorry, I can't do that unless I have the checklist. but life doesn't give us a checklist. And so it is so important that we refuel. It is so important that you have time for quiet this week. It is so important to say no to the thing, even if it sounds fun. Sometimes we need to be in bed by 9 instead of pushing it to have more fun, because then we show up a little half-mast, honestly, the next day. So then, with Mercury moving into Libra, it also does a bunch of stuff. It's a shift in the intellectual stimulation and a shift in consciousness, which means a shift in conversations. So you might find that by Thursday, conversations are going to be different. I'm really thinking a lot about our politics, what's going on social media right now. I know you probably all are following that shooting, and yeah, I don't even want to call out his name. I don't even really want to ever use my podcast platform to speak politics, because that's not, for me personally, what I've come here to do. But I do want to bring awareness around that, because having new conversations is what's going to heal us. Being able to flip the script, being able to loosen, being able to do it different is really what the ask is. Friday, Venus is going to move into Virgo. You know, a Venus Virgo, let's talk a little bit about that, okay? I have my Venus is in Virgo, and the way that I relate to that is that I will not get it on with you if you are not turning on my brain first. It is body, mind, soul. You cannot just come and like slap my little tush and I'm like, let's go. No. Okay. You have to like tell me how pretty I am. You have to read me a little ditty, a sonnet preferably. You have to tell me everything's going to be okay. I need a soft little gentle kiss on the forehead. I need little pets. I need little huggies. I need like a cat on my lap for a while. And then I can think about the action Jackson. And because I'm that way, when I see the collective Venus moving into Virgo, the way I see that as we cannot connect physically and emotionally until we're connecting intellectually. We cannot get over what's going on in the world until we figure out a way to communicate it better. Then Saturday, Venus, who just moved into Virgo, is going to square Uranus. Big change. Big change to how we're relating, big change to how we're loving, big change to our compassion sector. And I think oftentimes when there is a political killing and it super, polarizes the liberals and the the conservatives, I didn't even want to, got stuck in my mouth. When you are separating people into you're this and I'm that, you're right and I'm wrong, I'm blue and you're green. It's like, you are not setting yourself up to have a successful life or a successful universe around you, because energetically, so many windows are closed when you are only willing to look out the ones that are comfortable for you to look out. So the reason why I brought up the political shooting of Mr. Kirk there is that I would really like us all to see it as an opportunity to understand that these things are always going to happen. And if our response is always going to be the same, and we're always going to ping across the board at each other, and we're always going to snip and fight and say you're wrong and I'm right, then what windows are being opened to make it better? How will we ever find a solution if we are not finding solutions? Because to me, when you argue and you're just arguing to be right, you're not arguing for a solution, and you're certainly, my friends, not arguing for a cause. You are just arguing. And there is this energy in the sky right now that is asking us, that is giving us the free will to do it different. What that looks like for you might be really different than what that looks like for me. Sometimes I can get a little triggered, but I'll tell you one thing I'll never do. I will never go onto the comment stream and comment myself. I just won't do it, because there is no place for that equates to healing and moving on. That doesn't exist in social media. Social media is divisive by nature, and it shows us, oh, that person has a better life than me. That person is wrong and I'm right. To me, social media is a construct of our own deep, dark psyches, of our own darknesses being groomed as our light. And while in COVID times, maybe social media kept us feeling more connected, in the long run, its best thing that it does is disconnect you, is allow you to stay home instead of checking in. I mean, listen, I'm an 80s, 90s girl, all right? The best thing to do on Friday night was go to a video store, get a snackety snack, and look at all the videos and talk to all your friends who happen to be there also looking for videos. And it took you like 45 minutes to find one movie, just as long on Netflix, guys, but you're doing it by yourself. So in my viscera, I was raised to connect. I was raised to find that. And we are raising a generation that is not raised to have that. There is no village that is not social media, and social media is divisive. And so I'm really seeing all of this Venus and Mercury play this week as an opportunity to connect different, to find a way to turn off our phones, to turn off the pundits, to not always be swayed by memes, by goddamn memes, you guys. It's all built to create derision between us all. And if we can find the path back to taking a walk, to me, that is the most restful thing I can think of. And that is what this week requires. Rest, a gentle walk in the woods, a reconnection to what we are all doing here. Because I guarantee you, you're not going to find it in that comment thread. And I most certainly guarantee you, you're not going to find it on the news right now. You can only find it through connectivity with others. So that's my soapbox, and I'll climb right off, because I do believe that healing can happen when we're willing to devise a new system for connecting, because we've kind of wrecked the joint. Moving on. Also on Saturday, not only is Venus squaring Uranus, new ways to connect, new ways to find connection, but the sun is opposing Saturn. And this is like an addendum to what's happening on Sunday with the eclipse. The sun is opposing our lessons. It's clear as day. It's in our faces. It's stressful. It's energetically draining. And there is an ask to learn this lesson, whatever it is for you personally right now. It doesn't even have to do with what's going on out in the world. It's how it is affecting you personally. The sun is what is highlighted for us. The sun is in Virgo right now. And, you know, Mother Teresa was a Virgo. Virgos are of service, and Virgos help the less fortunate, and pets, and our health, and our routines. And when a Virgo sun is going to oppose Saturn in Pisces, which is about our intuitiveness and our spiritual knowing, then it's like, don't you see, you fools? It's all right here for us, for you, for me. But we have to dredge it out of ourselves. That true spirit exists not out here, not in thoughts and prayers, not in some kind of external force coming to pull us up. It is not that. That what the true lesson of the Virgo Pisces opposition is asking us to do is to get here, in our chests, in our heartbeats, in our own bones, and say, I am responsible for me. There's no outside force that's going to fix it for me, only me. And so I have to have the hard conversations. I have to do what I have to do to grow. Now, that doesn't mean like be a dick. Like, I'm not giving you carte blanche to be like, well, Jasmine said I have to do what I have to do, and so I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. I want you to tell you why you're wrong. Where is there room in your own spiritual development to be wrong or to need that next growth's edge? What is edgy right now inside of you? What is dying to be reconstructed inside of you. That's what I really want you to look at, because then Sunday, bam, it's eclipse time. It's a partial solar eclipse, so it's not as profound as the lunar eclipse was a few weeks ago, but it's there, and it's in Virgo, and it's saying, let go the need to know it all. Let go the need to do it all. Let go the need to be it all. And just be something, and sit in that something, and just procure a glimmer of a light of a new version of yourself. And how would that new version communicate? How would that new version say no when they needed to? How would that new version rest when it needed to? That is the ask. And so some of us are going to do that, and some of us aren't, and some of us are going to be kicking and screaming and exhausted and get sick and get tired and get grouchy and go on that comment thread and say that horrible thing and kablooey. That happens too, because eclipses are volatile that way. If we are not ready or willing to let go, what do? Well, we hold on tighter. When the energy comes to take something out of our hands, our first impression is to hold on. But I want you to think about what you're holding on to. That is your homework this week. What are you holding on to that is no longer serving you? And how good would it feel to release it, to let it go? Whew! So that's the week, you guys. I mean, it sounds kind of intense, but I feel like last week was intense. And I feel like this week is the debris of last week. It is the cleanup. And the card I pulled is Loyal Heart. I love this card because to me, it's not just loyalty to others, but it is loyalty to self. It is accountability. It is the virtue of, I can sit when it is uncomfortable and understand why it is uncomfortable without the need to change it. We are in hard times, my dears. Aliens could be here anytime, you guys. Dude, they're finding all kinds of spaceships out there. I'm seeing stuff left and right. And here we are fretting over politics. Anything could happen, you guys. Bob could be here tomorrow. And if there was a complete switch in paradigm where none of us have control over anything, over the future, over the next steps, you know the people that are really going to survive it, the people that are really going to rise to this occasion, are the people that are ready in their bodies, in their hearts, and in their souls, are the people that know themselves and don't need to outsource to get the nourishment they need. The people that have taken accountability and are ready to grow are the ones that are going to grow. So ready or not, here it comes. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share. If you leave a review and screenshot it and message me, I will send you your very own tarot story spread. It can be a question, or it can just be a wisdom for what you need to hear in that moment. I so very much appreciate all of the support, the shares, finding ways to reach a bigger audience, because in my heart, that's where I want to be. In your heart, where do you want to be? And let's support each other to get there. Thanks so much. Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor, and I'll see you next week.